So I just saw The Marvels, and I didn't hate it, actually. I really didn't, and that makes this kind of awkward, because I had planned a few different intros that I kind of wrote out in the event that I did hate the movie, just because I was planning on it being horrible. So you know what, let's just play it out for a second. Let's pretend like the movie was absolute dog shit, and let's restart, and let me just do my intro since I already wrote it. Alright, everybody ready? Let's restart. So I just saw The Marvels, a movie that many people would call Captain Marvel 2. Some other people might even call it Miss Marvel 2, but Jeff Goldblum would simply call it.
That is one big pile of shit.
Alright, I got it out of my system. Okay, The Marvels is actually not a horrible movie. Is it a great movie? No. It's not great. It is a okay movie that has a bunch of stuff in it that I enjoyed, and a bunch of stuff in it that I did not really enjoy, and altogether, it's really a mixed bag, and I really want to talk about a lot of stuff in the movie that was a little bit spoilery as well, so I'm going to do something I never really do. At the end of the video, I'm going to have a little spoiler section, then I'm going to talk about all that stuff, including the post-credit scenes, which, by the way, great post-credit scene, one of the best the MCU has done. They got me with this one. But let me get into it. So The Marvels is technically a sequel to Captain Marvel. We follow Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, we follow Kamala Khan, and we also follow Monica Rambeau and her, she was from WandaVision and she's got these weird powers now. And they kind of come together because of some weird MacGuffins, and they have to fight this villain who's really boring and stupid, and you have a Marvel movie. So what worked about this movie? There are some stuff that really worked. First off, Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel is great. I watched the Miss Marvel show. I did not enjoy the Miss Marvel show, but as I've said in previous videos about that show, I did always enjoy Iman Vellani. I think she is great. I just don't think she's been giving the proper writing and the proper story yet to really let that character flourish, but she is absolutely excellent in this movie, and she's the best. She's absolutely the best of the trio, which is amazing because, one of them is a Academy Award winner. And getting to Brie Larson, I will say this, it seems like she put more of an effort into this one than she put in the last one. Captain Marvel, she's really bad in that movie. The Avengers movie, she doesn't really do much. She does seem to put a little bit more of an effort into this one, but the writing here is still just not good enough to really, make her character a character, so to say. She just doesn't feel real. She feels like this stale piece of cardboard, and this movie kind of treats her character like we're supposed to love her, and that she has this long history in Marvel that we love and respect, but it's just not there, and it comes off as a little goofy at times and a little silly, and sometimes it works, but most of the time it doesn't, and I did not love her performance here. I'm just gonna be honest, I did not love what she did here. I think Teyana Paris in the movie as Monica Rambeau, I don't want to say that she was super memorable in the movie or incredible, but she was definitely solid. I think she did a great job of what she was given. I actually want to see more of her character. I'd like to see a deeper dive here in a better, with a better script, hopefully. I think she was really good here, and I think her relationship with her mother who's passed, Maria Rambeau, I think that would be an interesting storyline to kind of dig into, or traumas that come from that and different stuff there. I definitely was very interested in Monica Rambeau. The villain, I don't know her name, but she's Ronan the Accuser, but a woman. She's not great. It follows the trend of MCU villains just not being very good. This one just felt like very low effort. I think maybe there's a cut of this movie somewhere where the character's a little bit better. This movie was definitely just absolutely torn apart and reassembled in post-production. It's so clear that whatever script they had for this thing before they started filming, even when they were filming, was completely thrown in the trash can. This was an absolute studio picture that was crafted in post-production. So maybe somewhere there's one where this villain's a little bit better. Her motivations and her powers and what she's trying to do is a little bit different and kind of interesting. It's definitely a different take on it, but it never really goes anywhere. And I feel like they try to make you believe that she is actually physically powerful enough to fight some of these characters that she's up against, and they don't really ever give you anything story-wise to explain how she would be powerful enough. They just kind of make it so the fight scenes with her and Captain Marvel just don't really make sense. It's also hard for me to get behind a group of heroes when there's 3 heroes who are all super powerful and more powerful than the villain in a 3-on-1 fight with the villain, which is clearly unfair, and the villain is now the underdog of the fight, and it just, stuff like that, to me, it makes me realize that, sometimes these writers don't exactly understand the point of a hero story. Like, the hero's supposed to be the one with the odds against them, not the opposite way, because it makes you kind of root for the villain. And that's one of my biggest issues with the script here, is the fact that the villain doesn't really come off as bad as Captain Marvel does. Captain Marvel's a dick! Captain Marvel had done some pretty terrible things, and the villain is really justified here, and I think it's one of those things, you want us to care about this character that you failed to make us care about in the last 3 or 4 movies that she's been in. So what do? You make her just even more unlikable through things that she's done in her past, and it's just really stupid. Some things I did like, though, I mean, the characters do mix together, the main 3 characters, the scenes where they're just together having fun, you know, enjoying their powers, you know, Miss Marvel geeking out on Captain Marvel, that's the stuff that really, really works. And then when they were just kind of like traveling the galaxy and going to different places, like there's one planet, and I don't really want to spoil it, even though I know a lot of the information about this is leaked and out there and may have already been announced, but there's one planet that they go to where it's really goofy and silly, but it really worked for me, and it made me laugh pretty hard. I kind of wanted more from that. But it was great. Like, I kind of wish this whole movie was just them traveling around space, going to planet, and just getting up to shenanigans. Like, that would have been a much more fun movie, like a hangout movie with these characters. There's also another sequence of the movie involving cats that I keep hearing, like, a lot of people complaining about, and I don't know why. I thought it was, yet again, super stupid, super goofy, but I was laughing my ass off. I thought it was really funny. And by the way, Sam Jackson's in this movie. Nick Fury's here, and playing essentially a completely different character than he played in Secret Invasion. I mean, just a complete tone difference, but he's fine, I guess. I will say the CGI at the beginning of this movie is absolutely atrocious. It gets better throughout. I think a lot of the stuff near the end of the movie is a lot more polished than the beginning, which makes me think the early part of this movie may have been reshot and redone at the last minute. I might be completely off base with that, but there's one shot early in the movie involving Monica Rambeau that kind of feels like it was just made by, like, it feels like something out of a student film. It's so ugly and so bad and so embarrassing for a mega studio to put out a CGI shot that I saw, at least. It was so bad. But later on in the movie, it's not that terrible. It's not like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania bad. It's passable. I actually think that some of the fight scenes are really cool, and they're choreographed nicely, and there's no shaky cam, and they do some kind of hand-to-hand stuff and some cool stuff with the powers. The fight scenes were okay. I also think this movie has a great ending, and also a great post-credit scene. There's only one post-credit scene. There's an ending that kind of plays out like a post-credit scene, which I'll talk about in the spoiler section here, but it's really good, and I enjoyed the ending. I thought it was fine. It set up an interesting mystery for what's next. And ultimately, this whole movie I can complain about, like, some of the writing is really bad. There really isn't a great story here. It's a really, really simple story with a weak villain. I can complain about Brie Larson not being that great and Captain Marvel still being an incredibly unlikable character. But putting all those things aside, this is a very short, very fun, lighthearted little superhero flick that I think a lot of people that are really, really into Marvel are going to enjoy. And anybody who doesn't really like Marvel are probably just not going to enjoy. But it's a small, fun little film. I think it's 10 times better than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I think it's 10 times better than Thor: Love and Thunder. I just think it's a much better movie because it decided to be smaller and compact, and it did set up stuff for the future of the universe, but it kind of left it in the ending and integrated the future setup into the story of this one in a much better way, and it opened up for what I think will be a more interesting future, maybe? So I'm kind of shocked that I'm going to sit here and I'm going to give The Marvels a 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was pretty good. I can't give it a 4, but I thought it was good. Maybe the most surprising movie of the year, because I thought it was going to be an absolute shit show. So I want to talk about some spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, then click off the video right now. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. See you later. If you've seen the movie and you want to hear about some spoiler stuff, well, keep watching, because I want to talk about some things. So the main things I really want to talk about here are the after credit scenes, because the first one we get I thought was amazing, sort of recreating the Sam Jackson Iron Man 1 post credit scene with Miss Marvel sitting in the dark, meeting Kate Bishop, who I loved from the Hawkeye series, and we're setting up this Young Avengers show or movie, which we've been hearing rumors about for months and months and months, and it seems like it's actually going to be happening. Now, the Young Avengers is an idea that months ago I thought would be terrible, but now sitting here after watching this movie and seeing how good Iman Vellani is, and seeing how great Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop is, and seeing some of the characters that we have that could be included in a Young Avengers movie, including, you know, Spider-Man, it seems like this could be the show, or the movie, whatever it is. This might be the idea to kind of rejuvenate the MCU. I think this could be a very, very fun movie if they did a small, contained young Avengers movie with these young characters, with Spider-Man maybe leading the group. I think this could be such a great movie, if I'm going to be honest with you, which I can't believe I'm even saying. But the second post-credit scene, or really the first one, because the first credit scene with Kate Bishop really takes place at the end of the movie, but the main post-credit scene is the one that I'm interested in. So the movie ultimately ends with Monica Rambeau getting trapped in another universe. She has to close this gap between universes, and she gets stuck in the foreign universe, and she's there, and she wakes up, and she sees her mother, who's clearly not her mother. It's just another, variant of her mom. And then walking into this room is Beast, and it is the Beast from the original X-Men trilogy, not Nicholas Hoult, even though I love Nick Hoult. I would love to see you back as Beast, but it is the Beast. I can't remember who plays him, but it's the one from X1, X2, X3, and he's there, and he's, we got the X-Men, baby. And he mentions the fact that Charles Xavier wants to talk to them, and they got to go talk to Pat Stewart. If I had to guess, it's probably him. And yeah, Monica Rambeau is in what I believe is the Fox X-Men universe. They don't really clarify if it's the Fox X-Men universe, but they use music from X2. You got the Beast from X2. It just seems like it's the Foxverse, which would be so cool. And I know this is like a crappy way of writing stuff and getting fans back, just to do a lot of nostalgia. It's what they did with No Way Home, and it worked. Just bring back all these old characters and just throw nostalgia at the fans. And I know that's what they're going to end up doing with Secret Wars and all these movies, but I got to admit, seeing these characters from my childhood in these X-Men movies for my childhood, that's cool. And I would love to see some movie centered around the MCU characters, or some characters in the MCU going to the Fox universe and getting maybe a movie centered in the Fox universe. So I don't know where this is going. I know we're getting a Deadpool movie next year that is at the very least going to start in the Fox universe and probably end up in the MCU, but ultimately where I think this is going to eventually go, and this is theory time, this is a big theory, I think one of the main plot lines going into the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars is there's going to be an incursion, a merger of universes between the MCU and the Fox X-Men universe, and that's how they're going to bring in these X-Men characters, because I don't think they want to do a full reboot of the X-Men, or maybe they do, but a part of me thinks they really want Hugh Jackman to be the Wolverine of the MCU. They really want a lot of these people coming back, Patrick Stewart, a lot of these other characters, and I think that they're going to merge the universes and maybe keep some characters, maybe throw away some other ones and recast them, but I really think that whatever universe Monica Rambeau ended up in is eventually going to merge with the MCU, and this is how they're going to naturally bring in the X-Men without having to explain where, Charles Xavier's been for the last 20 years in the MCU universe. He was just hiding somewhere, I guess. Although I'd really love to see Giancarlo Esposito playing, Professor X, which I've heard the rumors that he might be the pick to play Professor. I would love that. That would be amazing. But yeah, again, this is just a theory. But I mean, this universe with Beast and with Monica's mom, Giancarlo Esposito might be Professor X here. But all I know is that Marvel is finally doing what they probably should have done a few years ago when they got the rights to the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. They're finally bringing these characters in. These are the characters that people care about. You no longer have Iron Man. You no longer have Captain America. What you do have is you get Spider-Man every now and then. Sony lets you make Spider-Man movies, which we love. They're very, very successful. And now you have X-Men and Fantastic Four, which are arguably the two biggest Marvel properties outside of Spider-Man ever. They're so huge, and you have both of them. You need to start making movies with these characters and pumping out content. It's what people want to see. We want to see the Avengers meet the X-Men, meet the Fantastic Four. We want to see all that on screen at the same time. Throwing Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield, and fuck it. That's what we want. Just get to it. Stop stalling. Let's get to that stuff, and let's stop wasting time making these whatever movies like the Marvels, even though I liked it. But it's a whatever movie. So is Ant-Man. So is, Guardians was good. Fine, I'll give you that. But everything they've done since 2019 has just been whatever. Let's stop wasting time and let's just do the big fucking movies. I know you want to build it slowly, but fuck that. You have the rights to these characters. Let's just go crazy with it. Alright, that's my theory/rant. And that's also the video, so thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like this and subscribe. Tell me what you thought of the Marvels below. I'll see you guys in the next one.